Hi, this is Stephen Brower from Mountain Valley Community College. This is for Operating Systems Fall 2017. This video is meant to be an overview for the course and an overview of WebStudy. There will be a separate video that shows how to do an introduction to WebStudy, which is our first assignment for this week, and another set of videos for the assignments due the following week. Another set of videos will show how to submit the homework in the lab. Well, first, where I'm at right now is pwmanager.raritanval.edu. That is the starting point where you should access both your email and WebStudy from. I'm going to log in. I was playing with some settings, so yours is going to look a little different than this. For accessing email, which is the Outlook, the Office 365 email, you would use this icon to get there. But to get into WebStudy, you would use this icon. And by the way, speaking of email, when I want to email the entire class, I'm going to try my darndoodliest to do it from both from WebStudy and from Office 365. It was something I piloted over the summer with a different online course that I had, and although there were a couple complaints, people are being inundated with email, they appreciated the fact that I was sending it in both places. As for you emailing me, when you send via the Office 365, basically through the Outlook for web, that goes to my cell phone. And although I might be in class at the time or I might be in a meeting, it's pretty immediate. When you send an email through the WebStudy here, it's one of those things I have to log on to then see that there's an email for me. Okay, so what is this WebStudy? It's a learning management system, and it's used for really submission of work and sort of like serving of files that are going to be needed for the course. Now let me go into, now your list is going to be different. And by the way, since I'm an instructor, even my whole view here is going to be different than what than you guys see. Actually, even if I switch to a student mode, the view is still going to be slightly different. This is called the course dashboard. Where you're probably going to spend most of your time is going to be the timeline. And so the timeline has, well, it shows time. It shows the weeks of the semester. What I did for clarity is I added the words, week and the number in front of, so you can see what's happening week one, week two, etc. For most weeks, there are two sessions. One session, when we look ahead a week, one session has information about the chapter that's going to be covered, may or may not have a video, we'll have a link for slides, and then the other session associated with the week would be where the assignments would be for that week. So they're generally paired for the first 8 weeks, and then what happens when we start getting to week 10, first 9 weeks, sorry, when we get into week 10, we start doing 2 chapters at the same time. So there'll be 2 sessions that have info with slides, and then a set of assignments for it. On top of the timeline, 2 files up here. One is the syllabus. Now the syllabus has things like policy, and it also has in it the grade determinants. Well, here's information about the book, information about me, information about my office hours. But if I jump down to here, the grade determinants, then this is at a glance showing you how what everything is worth. I'm not going to go through in this video right now all of the individual items that are within here. Some of these are going to be covered basically later, but you should take a look at the syllabus to make sure all of the policies that are here that you're okay with. The other link that's up here is the schedule. Now the reason why I put them as 2 separate documents is that if for some reason we need to change the schedule, several years ago it was Hurricane Sandy, and it really delayed the semester for 9 days. And so if I have to change the schedule, I only have to update one document, not the other. And what the schedule has is on a bi-week basis. I'm sorry, for each week, it shows the topic, what's being covered, and the assignments that are due. Now let me look ahead to next week. So next week, we're going to be doing Chapter 1, which is the Introduction to Operating Systems. And if I peek back here to WebStudy, then here is that Chapter 1, Introduction to Operating Systems. So here's an overview, here's a video, and here are slides for that chapter. And then if you look that week, so due September 19th is Homework, Lab, and Forum. And if I take a peek here, assignments due 9/19, Homework, Lab, and Forum. Now there's going to be a separate video, which is why this part right here says pending, that'll go through the actual steps that you would go through for submitting homework and submitting lab. There'll be another video for this week that'll show how you actually go and put your introduction in your forum. So the other videos are going to go into the specifics of how to do those assignments. By the way, you should have up here available to you sort of the expand all and collapse all. Sometimes it helps just to get back into collapsing all to get sort of like reset. You don't have to do what I'm about to say, but the schedule that's here, what you might want to do is, if you have access to a printer, it's only 3 pieces of paper. Well, I thought it was 3, 4, whatever. It's only 3 pieces of paper. You might want to print it out, and then as the semester goes along and you do assignments, check them off. And the other thing is, it's just holding, well, for those that prefer holding something in your hands, you can hold the schedule in your hand and you can just see things progress. The other thing that's nice that you can do on paper is you can look ahead. So the fact, it just happens to be in the bottom of this page, we see that Research Project 1 is due in the beginning of October. So sometimes the nice thing about the schedule was, taking a glance ahead, certain things stand out. Now I did bold them to have them stand out, but certain things do stand out. Okay. So one thing I probably should mention that it is mentioned in the syllabus is that the weeks are going to go from Wednesday to Tuesday. Now it just so happens the semester begins on a Wednesday. So the courseware review, getting acclimated, we're beginning on Wednesday, September 6th. And then the assignments for this first week, which is just going to be an introduction forum, is going to be Tuesday the 12th. So I'm using the Tuesday dates. So that's why if you look in the schedule here, all of the dates when things are due, these are Tuesday dates. So there's something due the 12th, the 19th, the 26th. When you choose to work on those assignments is up to you. Meaning if your weekends are when you want to do things, you can do things the weekend prior to the Tuesday. If you only have Thursdays available, then you probably on a Thursday have to work for things that are due the following Tuesday. But throughout the week, you can set your pace of when you do things. So you can do the homework, the lab, the forum on different days. But one of the reasons why I have Tuesday nights as when things are due is I do not have a class Tuesday night. I ran into a problem in the past where, because I was in class, I was unable to respond to emails. So now by having a Tuesday night deadline, I don't have class Tuesday night. I'll be able to respond if any issues come up with submissions. And anyway, okay, that's why the Tuesdays are done. Okay. For peeking ahead to next week, now again, there's going to be a video going through the introduction that's going to be for this first week. But peeking ahead to the following week when we do Chapter 1, just a reminder, so the timeline session is going to have a couple sentences giving an overview for the chapter. It's going to vary week to week. Well, first of all, whether or not there's a video and how many videos there are. But the videos, they're going to be 15 minutes max each one, and that's just because I'm too cheap to pay for the software. And some weeks, and let me just jump out to here, some weeks have multiple videos broken down by different topics. So it's going to vary from week to week, chapter to chapter, how many videos there are. And the videos, they're me yapping. And depending on what the video is about, I might be in a tool as opposed to being in slides for describing something. So in the session that has information on a chapter, there is a link here at the bottom, and what this is really brings up is a PDF, and it's the slides that would be normally handed out in class. Now, if I were handing them out in class, I would hand them out at 6 per page and double-sided. These are 2 per page because I just think that when it comes up in the browser, it's just kind of easy to scroll through and to see the information at a glance. But the PDFs, so the link to the PDF would be within each session. And again, so now not this week, because this week we're going to be doing the introduction forum, but looking then at week 1, then associated with the material that's here in this topic would be the assignments that are due. So there's going to be a separate video that goes through how to submit the homework in the lab. There'll be a separate video that goes through on how to submit the forum. The first lab here, by the way, is slightly off topic because I just want you to get access to these 2 tech news sites, and so it's just going to step you through that. And the forum for that particular week right here, it's more of like a survey of operating systems to see what access the people have to different forums. Okay. I'm going to pause for a second. I just want to check my script. Okay, sorry, I was just checking my list I made to myself of my topics to make sure everything was covered. And let me do the boiled down version of this again. So it's the PW Manager is what you will log into. The PW Manager has an icon for WebStudy. When WebStudy comes up, you should have a list of courses that you have available to you. And for me, these are the courses that I have. One of them should be the operating systems course, I hope. From within the course, most of your time is really going to be spent over on the timeline. The top of the timeline has the syllabus, which has policy information, and also the grading criteria. The class schedule, which is another one of the links that's over the timeline, has really the list of topics throughout the semester. The schedule should, I hope, match the list of topics and the assignments that are due that are here in the timeline. Most weeks, now not this first week, but most weeks are broken down into one session with info about the chapter. May or may not have a link to a video, and we'll have slides, PDF, that are really what they would look like that would be handed out in terms of class. The other session that's associated with the week has the homework, the lab, and if there is a forum that week, the introduction forum that is there. Okay, so I didn't really get into the specifics. There's a course overview about what operating systems is and what we're going to focus on. This is really focusing more on the logistics of really using WebStudy, or actually not even the using. There'll be other videos on the using part. But key thing is Tuesdays are going to be your dates. You can work whenever you want prior to a Tuesday to submit work. So if weekends are better for you, you can work on Saturdays and Sundays, submit all your work that's due the following Tuesday. I will email both. Now up here up top where it says mail, currently I have bracket 0. I don't have any WebStudy email for me, but when I email the class as a whole, I will try my darn doodliest to send it both via the WebStudy mail and through the office mail that you all have access to. So welcome to Operating Systems for fall 2017, and looking forward to a great semester.